boy Osas. In today's episode, we are going to continue with our video calling and voice calling functionality. In the last episode, we wrote and deployed a bunch of Firebase cloud functions that is supposed to be responsible for handling our StreamSDK authentication. That video got a little bit longer than I wanted it to, so I decided to split it into two different episodes. Today, we're going to continue from where we left off in the last episode. We're going to validate that all that Firebase cloud functions that we actually wrote is working as we expected. And also, we are going to go ahead and initialize our StreamSDK object with our authenticated user and be able to make a video call using our stream users. And so this should be a very fun episode because it's just going to validate everything we already wrote and also call them on the Swift client side and make a video call. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is we want to test. Let me jump into our Firebase console. So we have a bunch of Firebase cloud functions. The first one that I would like for us to test is this create stream user function. And if you guys remember in the last episode, we have this create stream user that is supposed to fire whenever we create a Firebase user. So I would actually just like for us to test it really quickly by actually just creating a dummy user in our authentication module. So if I go to my Firebase console, click on this add user button, and let's just create a dummy user, right? Let's just call it stream test user at gmail.com, or maybe at test.com. I think that's a better one. Stream user at test.com. I think I'm going to change that to stream user at test.com. And let's give it a password of password. Let's go ahead and click add user. So whenever we add user, remember, this is listening for, triggers in our authentication module. So the minute we click this add user button, it should actually fire that Firebase cloud function, and it should go create a user in our StreamSDK. So if we jump right here, for example, I'm in my stream console right now, in my stream dashboard. If I go to Explorer, click on chat messaging, go to Explorer, and if you go down here, right now, if you click on users, we only have Swift School, which is the admin user. Really, we should create a new user now that, says, what did we call it again? Stream user at test.com. So let's validate that. Let's click on add user, right? It's going to take a couple of seconds. And right here, let's go to our StreamSDK and let's see. Look at that. Super quick. We have a new user, right? And the role is user. And let's see, the email is streamuser at test.com. And what else are we looking for? The user ID is Y4. If we jump back to our Firebase cloud functions, or our Firebase authentication console, the UID is also Y4X. So that's correct. And we can also validate this in our cloud function. If we go to our cloud function, let's go to our logs really quickly. Let's click on this view logs. So it should take us to our cloud function logs, and we should be able to see what's going on. So if we jump all the way down here, let's see, create user. And right here, it's saying provided module can be loaded. I mean, it should be. I think that's the last one that we deployed. And look at it right here. This is the one that started. And if we scroll all the way down here, the email is streamuser at test.com. Verified email is false, and it has the correct UID. And that's exactly what we want, right? So let's go ahead. So basically, we have validated now that our create stream user cloud function is working. Let's validate that our delete stream user is also working because, again, it's likewise its predecessor. It also listens to the authentication object and the user object on delete. So let's validate that by deleting that user that we just created. So let's jump back to our authentication console. So we just created the stream user at test.com. Click on this bad boy. The minute we click on delete user, it should also delete it from our stream chat. So I'm going to bring these guys side by side right now. And honestly, let's even split it and just put it side by side so we can see what's going on. And I'm going to jump back to my Firebase authentication module. And so the minute I click on delete user, this, user Y4X should also be deleted from our StreamSDK dashboard. So I'm going to go, let me make sure I'm clicking on the right user, click on stream user at test.com, delete account. Yes, go ahead and delete that bad boy. And let's see what happens. This bad boy should refresh. Or we might have to, yep, it just refreshed. Yep. So you guys saw that? That was super quick. And now if we refresh it again, we only have one user in our Explorer, in our actual StreamSDK dashboard. So that's awesome. So that also validated that, our delete user or delete stream user method is also working. That's great. Now let's go ahead and validate that our get stream user token and our revoke stream user token are both working. And the way we're going to validate that is actually by writing the Swift code that's going to call both of those methods. But before we jump into that, something that I wanted you guys to do really quickly is, so inside of your git ignore, and we have a git ignore right here inside of our backend directory. Make sure you have this .m file, because remember the .m file is what contains our API key and our API secret. And you don't really want to commit that to your, to version control. You don't want to commit that to Git, right? And I just forgot to bring that up in the last episode. So make sure you add this to your git ignore files. Make sure you have this .env. That way it would ignore this .m file because those are API secrets. And with that done, let's jump to Xcode now and let's go ahead and get started with our logic. So what do we need to do, right? The first thing we want to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and create a secret file. So I'm going to jump here. Let's see. I'm going to go to do we want to put it in utilities? Sure. We already have Firebase constants here. And I'm just going to go ahead and create a new file. And I'm just going to call it secrets. And it's going to be a enum. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say enum secrets. And what do we want? So let's go ahead and create our API key here. So I'm going to say static let my API key. So this is kind of like the environment .m file that we created a while ago, but on the Swift side of the equation. So I'm going to copy this bad boy. Again, I'm going to nuke my API keys and delete this project by the time I launch this episode. So you guys are not going to be copying or having the exact same API key as I do. So whatever your API key is on your, what is it called? On your StreamSDK dashboard. So this bad boy, if you jump here, go to Swift School, actually just click on this homepage. If you go here, whatever this API key is, this is your API key. That's your API key that you need to copy. So you need to come out and click on this to get that. So it's not going to be the same thing as mine. Just keep that in mind. So I'm going to create my API key here. And I'm also going to create another enum here for my Cloud Functions. So I'm going to call it Cloud Functions. And why am I creating a Cloud Functions enum? Because remember, we have HTTP callable functions, and I'm going to go ahead and open this one back. So if we go back to our Firebase Cloud Functions right here, not the database console, the Firebase Cloud Functions, these are HTTP callable. So that means we need to call them from inside of our Swift function. And the way I want to change the flow to look like is whenever we create an account, we want to create an FCM, we want to create a string token for that user. So I'm going to go ahead and call this, create this method names right here. So the first method is called create stream user. And actually, let me see. If I jump here, let me actually copy the names from here, because this is super case sensitive and you have to make sure the names match. So create stream user, I'm going to create the second one, and the second one, oh, actually not create stream user. I don't care about the create stream user because that's a trigger. So we don't need to call that directly. The one we need is get stream user token, get stream user token. And the second one that we need is the revoke stream user token, revoke stream user token. So now let's go ahead and actually get this bad boy working. So this is going to be static let, and it's going to be equals to the get stream user token. And likewise to this is just a name. So that way we could just say Cloud Functions get stream user token. That's how we're going to use this enum. So we have our API keys, we have our Cloud Functions. The next thing we need to do is to go extend our authentication provider. So right now, if I scroll all the way up here, and also for the API key, now I could just say secrets, or I could just honestly remove this. And for API key, where is it? This is going to be secrets.api key. Okay. And so that looks much cleaner. Let's go all the way up here now. The next thing I want us to do is now we need to extend our authentication provider, the contract that we set at the beginning of the series to also include these two different methods, right? You should also be responsible for getting the string token and for revoking the string token. So I'm going to copy both of these methods, and I'm going to take these two methods, and I'm going to move them into our authentication provider as part of our contract. So I'm going to actually go, let's just go below the logout, and we're going to turn this into methods. So I'm going to say func get stream user token and func revoke stream user token. So what does this, get stream token going to do for us? Well, we're going to be getting stream token for a specific user. So this is whenever we log in with email and password using Firebase, right? We need to also go log into the string token, and we're going to use that because remember, if we go back to our Node.js client, this get stream user token, for example, right? It needs to validate if the user is logged in, and then it's going to go create a stream token for us. It's going to create a user token for us, which means the stream user was authenticated and is successfully logged in. So we need to do that right here. So I'm going to say for UID is going to be a string. And does it really need to return anything? We can say it's an asynchronous function, right? Because we're going to be performing some sort of a network request. And we're going to say it's going to return us a user token. And remember, the user token object is from inside of our stream video. So this is not an object that we personally created. This is from our stream video. And I'm going to make this optional because it can actually throw an error. Or we could just say it can throw an error, but let's just make it optional. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing for the revoke, stream token method. So I'm just going to copy this, paste this down here, call this revoke stream user token for user ID. And this doesn't really return anything. So it's just going to be an asynchronous method. And I think that's all that we need. Okay, so let's go ahead and conform to both of these methods, right? Right now, the contract is incomplete because we have not actually conformed to it. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm just going to get stream user token. And down here, I'm going to revoke stream user token. So for now, I'm just going to return nil. And here, I'm just going to, put a comment here. And let's go ahead and do this get stream user token. How are we going to be getting the stream user token? Like I said in the last episode, we have an HTTP callable function inside of our Cloud Functions now that we deployed. Remember, this is functions, HTTPS on call. That means we can call it in our Swift side. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. And before we do that, let's go ahead and actually import our Firebase Cloud Functions. Do we actually have it up imported here? Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say import Firebase Cloud Functions, Firebase. Why is there no Cloud Functions? I'm pretty sure we installed this module. Or is it called Firebase Functions? Oh yeah, it's called Firebase Functions. Okay, so now with that installed, I would like for us to go initialize the functions to basically create an instance of it. So inside of our authentication manager, I'm just going to go right below the stream video. I'm going to create a private lazy variable. If you don't know what a lazy variable is, it's essentially an object or a variable that is not created until the first time it is used. So it makes sense. If we never really initialize it, if we never really use it, I don't want us to initialize it. That's essentially what this means. So I'm going to say functions.functions, okay? And this is basically the Firebase Cloud Function Swift side SDK. This is how we initialize that. And then we're going to go use these functions to call this bad boys right here, to call this get stream token and revoke stream token. So this should be fairly straightforward. Now let's scroll back down to our get stream user token. So this is where we're going to do the bulk of the work now. So what do we need to do inside of our get stream token? Like I said, we need to call our Cloud Functions. So I'm going to say a do catch block because I know it's going to potentially throw an error. And for the error, I'm just going to copy the print statement here, put it down there. I'm going to say failed to get stream token from backend. okay, and then error.localized description. And yeah, I think that's good. Actually, we need to return nil. So if we're unable to get the stream token, then we're going to return nil, of course. And then inside of the get stream token, this is where we need to call our callable cloud functions. And the way we're going to do that is I'm just going to say, let's get stream token, stream user token is equals to try await functions. The functions are we just initialized using a lazy variable, HTTP callable, and this is the name of the functions that we want now, right? And the name in this instance is going to be cloud functions dot get stream token, and then we're going to initialize the call. We're going to trigger the call, and so now we're going to get the stream token by just saying godlet. I'm just going to say godlet current user stream token is equals to get stream token, which is an HTTP callable, the data object. And I know the data that is going to return for us is going to be a string. Else, if we don't get any data from that, we need to return nil. That means we were unable to get the string token. Okay, and so let's go ahead and return, let's see, current user, or actually, yeah, let's create a string token now. So I'm going to say let stream token is equals to user token, so the user token object from the StreamSDK. And I'm going to create a new one using raw value. So this takes in a string, right? And the string is going to be this current user token right here. So the raw value, pass that in that bad boy. And let's go ahead and return our stream token, which is a user token object. So what do we need to do next? Let's put a print statement here to know that we successfully retrieved the stream token for that specific user. So I'm going to say successfully fired get stream user token. And let's go ahead and print the stream token that we're talking about in question. And this is just going to be our current user token. Excuse me, guys, current user stream token, which is the string. And that's pretty good. So when are we going to call this get stream user token? Again, we want to get this whenever we log in with email and password and whenever we create a new stream account, right? That makes sense. Or whenever we create a new Firebase account. So anytime we're not authenticated and we need to log in, we're going to call this get stream user token. But anytime we're using auto login, we don't really want to call this again because remember, this is going to fire this method right here that is going to go ahead and create a stream token. If we're already logged in and we're just firing auto login, it doesn't make sense for us to go create a new token. So what I'm trying to say is we need to store this token somehow, right? The minute we're done getting this token, we should store it in our backend. And we're going to do just that. So I'm going to Command Shift and O and jump into our user item. So I'm going to create another variable inside of our user item that's going to be called stream token. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the user token for our stream object, right? And it's going to be a string. Let's make it an optional variable. And let's go ahead and decode it inside of our dictionary right here. So I'm going to say self.stream token is equals to dictionary. And the key, let's go ahead and create a key down here. As always, I'm going to say stream token. And let's go back to our dictionary right here. And we know the key is going to be stream token. And we know it's going to be of type optional string. Right, it might not be available, and if it's not available, we're going to default it to nil. Because remember, actually right now, this is perfect because all of the objects in our backend doesn't have a stream token yet. Because, you know, when we're creating the objects or creating the episodes, the concept of stream token didn't exist until the last episode. So this has to be optional for us. But in an actual production environment, before you launch, you probably already have the stream token set up, so you don't need to necessarily make it, you know, optional. But let's continue. So we have decoded it. We have our stream token now. Let's jump back into our authentication provider. And like I said, the minute we fire this, I want us to store it in the backend for this specific user ID, right? So I want us to essentially go users, UID, and then stream token, and then pass in the value of that stream token. So in other words, we only create a new stream token whenever we're logging in with email and password and whenever we are creating an account with email and password. As far as auto login is concerned, we're just going to reference this one that's already in the backend. So how do we do that? And let's see, there's a bunch of ways we could do this. And I think I'm just going to create an extension really quickly down here, guys. I'm going to scroll all the way down here. I'm going to create a private extension on the user token, private extension. And, you know, feel free to honestly do this inside of the auth provider. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to create a store method on the user token. I'm just going to say store this user token for this user ID, which is going to be a string. And what is this going to do? Well, this is going to use our Firebase constants. Like I said, we're going to go to the user reference. We're going to do the user ID that we want to store it for. So child, Firebase constants. Let's see, what am I doing wrong here? User ref, the child. Yeah, that should work. User ID. Okay. And the child is going to be FCM token. So I'm going to use not FCM token, stream token. So I'm going to use the stream token key that we created, the static property, and then I'm going to set the value to be equals to this self.raw value. And the reason I'm referring to self here is remember this is an extension on user token, and user token raw value is just a string. So I'm going to go ahead and use the store method now. I'm going to scroll all the way back up, and let's go back to our, let's see, what am I thinking here? Let's go back to our get stream users. So I'm going to collapse this extension for test account, scroll all the way back up here. Where are we doing this? Right here. And again, the minute we're done getting the stream token, I want to store it in the backend. So all I want to do here is I want to say stream token.store, and it's going to say for which user ID. It's going to be the user ID that we're getting from right here. So the minute we get that stream token, store it on the user's node, right, using the user ID. That's all we're doing right here. And I think that looks fairly clean enough. And let's see, where do we want to call our get stream token now, right? First off, let's command and build to make sure everything is working. right? Make sure we're not getting any errors. And let's go ahead and actually call our getStreamToken method. Like I said, we're going to need to call it in the create user account and in the login. So let's go ahead and log in with email and password. Let's try with login and email and password first. So we have login with email and password. And the minute we're done getting a user, but before we even get current user information, let me think here. Before we get current user information, we need to get the stream token. So I'm going to say let stream token is going to be equals to our await get stream token. It's going to say for which user ID, and it's just going to be the auto results dot user dot uid. Okay, and that's going to return us our stream token right here. And remember, the minute we fire this get stream token method, not only is it going to fire the HTTP callable cloud functions method, it's also going to store it on the user node. So that's perfect for us. And so by the time we're done with that, let's actually go ahead and print. I want to also print it here to make sure that this current user also has the stream token. So I'm going to go ahead and print current user stream token is, and I'm just going to say current user dot stream token. Remember, the current user is just a user item object. So I'm going to paste that in my console here so I can see what's going on. And I think that's all we need to do for the login section. We're going to do the register with email and password, but let's do it one step at a time, guys. Let's go ahead and create and try to log in with email and password. But this is actually not going to work. I'm sorry, because remember, none of our users right now exist in our StreamSDK dashboard. So let's go ahead and also add the create accounts. Let's add it to the create account method. And then we're going to create a new account and use this flow to validate everything. So inside of the create account, we need to do the same thing. So I'm going to copy this, stream user, the get stream token, right? I'm going to go right here. After we get a new user, where do we want to do it? So let's think here for a second, guys. The minute we get a new user and we store it to the backend, let's go ahead and paste this here. Let's get our stream token right here, right? And then when we're done getting our new stream token, I would like to say new user. The stream token is equals to the stream token that we're getting back from our get stream user token method. And this is going to yell at us. We need to convert new user to a variable instead of a constant. And I think that's everything we need to do. And this is going to say stream token. Let's see raw value right here. Okay. Because this is going to return us the actual user token. So I think that's all we need. Let's go ahead and run our project now, guys. And the first thing I want us to validate right now really quickly is let's keep our eyes out for this Explorer. So I'm in my, again, StreamSDK dashboard. Go to the users table or whatever it's called. And let's run our project in the simulator. We're going to log out of whatever account we're currently logged in as. And I would like for us to, so let's see. We're going to log out of whatever account we're currently logged in as and then create a new account to validate that everything is working. So I'm going to log out right here. Go to don't have an account. And let's call this again test stream user 2 at test.com and stream user, and the password is just going to be password. Go ahead and create an account, and remember, this should also fire our authentication method. So let's see what happens. We should get a new stream user right here. I'm waiting for that bad boy to do its thing. Maybe we need to refresh the dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this bad boy really quickly. Oh yeah, actually it just came through right before I refreshed it. Awesome. So we have a new user called KUK4, right? That's the user ID. That's the starting user ID. And it's stream user 2 at test.com. And again, this should have a stream token. So let's validate if we actually have a stream token. Let's jump back to our backend. Let's go to our real-time database, or let's go to our authentication folder, our authentication module. Let's get that new user ID. So stream user 2 at test.com. I'm going to copy the user ID. Just click on that copy button. Go to the real-time database. Go to the user object. I don't care about the channel messages right now. User object. Or user node, just command and F, and type in and just paste in that UID that you just copied. So it's this one right here. It's going to be highlighted in yellow. I'm going to click into it, and let's see. So we have an email, which is stream user 2 at test.com. We have a UID, right? And then username, and then we have a stream user, but we don't have a stream token, guys. That is super weird, right? We don't have a stream token, so our stream token was not really successful. And let me exit out of this. Let's see if we got any errors here, guys. And right here, did we get any errors? We got a bunch of errors, and I mean, I think I know why we're getting a bunch of errors. It's probably because of our StreamSDK, but let's see. Let me see if I can look for the print statements that we're using inside of our getStreamToken method. So we're calling the getStreamToken here. We're calling the getStreamToken here. I'm going to come out and jump to the getStreamToken method. I'm going to get this print statement right here. I want to see what the error is. Paste it here. And it says, failed to get stream user token from backend unauthenticated. That's actually a very good error message. Okay, so why is that? I mean, we're already authenticated by the time we call it right here. If you think about it, we already saved it to the backend. We already created a new user, right? What are we doing wrong here? Get stream user token for auth results dot user ID. And yeah, it returns a user token. Get stream token. Yeah, what are we doing wrong? Again, it should work. Let's let's debug this really quickly and see what's going on. You know what, guys? Let's first validate that the login method is working. So again, it's saying we're unauthenticated, right? So let's log out of StreamUser, what is it again? StreamUser2 attest.com. And let's come out and run our project really quickly. Jump in here. Right now it's saying we're StreamUser, but this is StreamUser2 attest.com. Again, are we logged into a different account? No, we're not. Yeah, StreamUser2, right? Attest.com. Oh yeah, the username is StreamUser. So okay, I'm the one that's tripping. So let's sign out of our account, right? When we sign out of our account, everything is good and dandy. Let's go ahead and sign in again as StreamUser2 attest.com, and let's see if the login method actually gives us a user token. Because remember, the login method is also calling this get stream user token method right here. And this is after we've successfully logged in, because we're calling it after the auth results. So let's go ahead and log in with StreamUser2 attest.com, and the password for me is password. Let's go ahead and hit that login button. Let's see what happens. Let's jump back to our Xcode project. Let us remove this filter. And I'm going to go ahead and put this lock icon right here, because I'm pretty sure that's what we're using to filter. What happens? So stream user is logged in. That's not the one I'm looking for. No. It's giving an FCM token. It's also saying fail to get stream user token from backend. Is that the recent one? What does the success message look like? Let's get to here. Let's take this bad boy right here. Paste it right there. Successfully signed in. Yeah, but it's not giving us success. Also, it's saying we are unauthenticated, which is super hard because, again, we are authenticated. And we can validate this. If we jump back to our Firebase console, it's still not setting up the stream token object, which means it's not successfully getting the stream token. Again, this is super weird. Not really sure why it is not doing that. So that's obviously an issue. And let's go ahead and dig one step further. Let us sign out of this specific account, and let's create another account, and let's see what happens if we have the same issues. I'm going to sign out of this. I'm going to run our project all over again. I'm going to put the lock icon to filter out for authentication logs. And let's go ahead and create another user account that is going to be created in the backend as well. Let's call this one StreamUser3. I'm going to copy this, paste it here. Nope, I want this. Can I copy that? Yep, paste it right here. So this is going to be StreamUser3 instead of 2. And let's call it StreamUser3. Password is going to be password. And let's go ahead and hit that. Let me actually shrink Xcode just a little bit so we could see the console as everything flows through. So let's go ahead and create our account. Let's see what happens one more time. And so it's, again, failed to get stream user token from backend. Okay, so that is consistent. There's definitely something weird going on. Okay, let's jump back to our Node.js side of the equation, and let's take a look at what we are doing wrong, guys.